That was my elbow. Hello everyone! Welcome back to another episode of Monster vs. Monster here on the D&T... What is it? D&D CR Exposed YouTube channel? Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Anyways, I'm Andrew. This is the Monster vs. Monster live stream. And yeah, we're gonna take a look at some battles here and see what's going on. Let me turn down my volume a little bit. That music's coming in a little hot for me. Alright, so let's see here. I mean, affected with vampirism? Yes, they can. And yeah, let's go. Let's do this. Okay, I totally missed out on some chat because I was looking at over and see what was going on, you know, getting ready for the stream. Had to make some changes with my mic. And yeah, we're good to go here. Name requests, if you want, we can. Otherwise, everything is set to go. All the names were pulled from fantasynamegenerator.com. And yeah, we can do this unless there's some special requests for particular names. But at the moment, we have for our monsters here, we have our vampires, just a small amount of vampires, but you know, CR15 and 2 CR5 vampire spawns is a pretty good bet for them, you know, being CR25 there. And then we have our undead lich boys down here with a couple skeletons, a wight, and a lich. Draven. Draven for which one? Spooky, scary skeletons, for sure. Draven. Yes. Alright, so right now the vampire was originally named Dragos, but Draven will work just as well. So we'll go ahead and do that. That's a quick change of just 2 letters in that, so perfectly works fine. Okay, so let's see here. Down below we have in our cemetery section, we have our undead lich and wight and our skeletons. We have Feldegar, our lich here. We have Zandash, our wight, who is, you could say, maybe a bodyguard, someone walking around with our lich. And then I have our skeletons here. Ms. Bojangles, Grim Carey, McRibs, and Tyler Durdead. Tyler Durdead. Yes, a whole bunch of puns here going on. And then up here for our vampires, we have the main vampire, now known as, what was it, Dravos or something? Dragos, now formerly known as Dragos. We have Dravis, and then we have Kenya and Uva, our 2 vampire spawns. Alright, and then, what is going on here? Well, this was a user request from my Monster vs. Monster request form, and the note said, you know, the lich is coming over here into this, this old chapel area to harvest skeletons and undead to raise an army. And little does the lich know that even though they've been raising and harvesting undead from here, in between the attempts to get more skeletons and whatnot, a vampire moved into the chapel up here. So as the lich is just finishing off their summon and create undead, we've got ourselves some vampires that are looking around saying, hey, what's going on here? Who's invading my turf? So we have a bit of a turf war between undead. Let's see here. T-Bot, thanks for joining. Miss V. Uva. Oh no. Okay, and yeah, so that's it. That's the bit of the story here. We just got some undead prying in some other undead territory and some undead that didn't realize territory was already claimed. And no, now we have the fight going on. Vampires are going to get crushed? Probably. Corey Cat, thank you for stopping by. And, you know, with that, let's start round 1 here now that we have all of our combatants. So we're going to go ahead and roll initiative and see how we're doing here. So we got a whole bunch of D20s come rolling in. Looks like someone got a 20. And I believe that is probably Feldegar, our lich, with a total initiative of 23. Ulva, a initiative of 22. We got some, you know, a whole bunch of other undead going. And we're just going to go as things come about. Our vampire going almost close to last with Zandash down at the bottom and Ms. Bojangles at the very end with a 5. Okay, so with that all set, let's begin combat here. And just for the fun of it, I wanted to see here. I know Feldegar has some spells, so let's see if we can find... I think he had a summon undead or create undead spell possibly, or I might have been looking at something else. So animate undead. I think that might have been the one. It's 1 minute, so we'll say just as you know, just as things were going off, Feldegar goes ahead and uses the animate spell to animate some undead down here. And this is where we get our couple CR 1/4 monsters. So that will use that spell up. And then we'll go ahead and move on. So Feldegar finishes off their turn, basically casting Undead, and then here's some movement up here, and goes to investigate. So we'll go ahead and let's see here. 30 movement feet. They have, you know, you can go over to here, and we'll say, yeah, they'll go right to about there. Oh, thank God. The space bar for moving is finally working. Okay, so that is Feldegar's turn, and we're going to go ahead and finish their turn for round 1 here, and we move on to Ulva. Ulva is up here, hears the summons, has warned their vampire master of what's going on, and starts to rush out into battle here. So we'll go ahead and go 10 to 15 feet, and then another 20, and 30 feet there, although they could climb, probably. Let's see here, 30 feet climbing, 30 feet movement, no climbing speed. Darn it, there I go again. We'll bring that initiative tracker back over to here, and yeah, we'll just have her do like I was doing. So 30 feet to there for the first set of feet movement, and then we'll move another 30 feet up to get an idea of what's going on. Comes over to here, sees a whole bunch of undead, and calls out, "Yes, there's undead coming! Quickly!" Nice. Good one there, Hair Doctor. Alright, so that is Ulva's turn. Nothing much on there besides moving into combat. And now we have Tyler Durdead. Tyler Durdead is, you know, a skeleton. Can kind of see maybe not so much what's going on over here, but will follow the lead of, you know, the Lich and catch up to there, drawing out their longbow. So we got a 30-foot movement speed. So we'll go, let's see here, 30 feet to here, and then an additional, we'll say 60 feet to there. So that'll be all their movement, and that's pretty much it for Tyler Durdead. Round 1's not going to be very explosive here tonight, I think, folks. So, you know, let's just get through this and reposition everything, and we'll see what round 2 looks like. Hearing the calls from Ulva here, Kenya moves up as well. So 5 feet to there, another 30 feet to here, and then we'll move an additional 30 feet to see who is intruding. Okay, so, yeah, just going to rush up 30 feet to here as well. Some D&D lover. Hey, some D&D lover. Thanks for joining up. All right, and that is Kenya's turn. So now we go to McRibs. McRibs is also over here. Probably can't see because they're, you know, 5-10 feet down below here. Plus this extra wall. Probably can't see what the vampires are doing up here, so it's just going to move another 60 feet up as well. So we'll go 10 feet to there, and another 10 feet to 60 feet as well. And if you watch over here, you can see like the little space markers tick away. Alright, so that's McRib's turn. McRibs moves on to Grim Carry. Grim Carry is, well, right here. Easy enough to see. And we'll go ahead and move Grim Carry 15 feet to here, 35 feet to here, and then, yeah, we'll just say 60 feet up to there. That should be 60 feet. Perfect. Oh, they still have one more foot of movement. We'll go ahead and push them up there. Okay. There we go for Grim Carry, and up to Dravis. So, Dravis, our vampire, could, let's see here, moves 30 feet. We could do shape change and all that. We do have the ability to call in, let's see here, where is it? We do have that that ability to call in the Children of the Night, but that's one action, and then it takes like a minute for them to get in. Let's see here. It arrives 1d4 rounds acting as allies of the vampire, so may not have anything come in because I wasn't necessarily ready for these to come in, so we're not going to worry about the Children of the Night. And, you know, maybe this is a younger vampire, and this is also a vampire warrior, so they are equipped with a, let's see here, what was it, a greatsword, instead of just using their bare fists and whatnot to attack. Okay, so they're going to move in 15 feet to here, another 30 feet to here, and then we'll probably do some sidelining here and stay a little more cautious. So they'll be up against the wall watching. I'll name the Lich Skeletor in honor of one of the greatest villains. I hope it's not too late to suggest names. No. The only thing is that the name won't show up on the encounter tracker. So we could change it down here, but it will still be stuck as Feldegar up top, sadly. As far as I'm aware, I don't know about changing it mid-turn. Update combatant? Oh yeah, we can do it here. Alright, let's see here. We'll go with Skeletor then. Oh, if I could name it correctly. There we go. Perfect. Alright, so Skeletor now instead of Feldegar. The Lich formerly known as Feldegar, now Skeletor. And let's see here, Dravis moves up. That's his turn as well. So we'll go ahead and finish off Dravis's turn. And then we have Zandash, our white. And Zandash will move, let's see here, can they get anywhere reasonable? 30 feet to here. And then, yeah, they have pretty good stealth abilities. So probably we'll end up, you know what? Probably going to push this over here a little bit. And then we're going to have the Lich try, or excuse me, the white try and stealth. So let's go ahead and see a stealth check here as their action to maybe hide. And we have a base 17 for a total of 21 to hide. Definitely stealth for sure. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and mark this as stealth. And on their next turn, they might have some advantage to some attacks. We'll see what happens. All right, so that is Zandash's turn. They move up a little bit, and then they start stealthing against the wall here to hide as they hear all the movement coming up from the chapel here. So that will be the end of Zandash's turn. And we have Ms. Bojangles, who is just going to click-clack along the way here and move up 30 feet to here, and an additional 30 feet probably to here next to Skeletor. Makes sense. So that is the end of round one. Nothing really exciting going on here, as a lot of the combatants are just moving into position and getting ready to attack. And we will end Ms. Bojangles' turn here and start the top of round two with Skeletor. So Skeletor is going to move up, let's see here, 20 feet to here. We'll be able to roughly see Kenya, and let's see here. What is Skeletor going to do? We have a couple vampires that he can clearly see. Pretty much probably could see all of them. So, let's see here. Do we have a big spell we could use? Something, you know, like a fireball maybe, or a cloud kill. Cloud kill could be fun, but that is poison damage, I believe, so it might not work on the vampires. He is pretty intelligent, so, you know, vampires, fire, probably not the best thing in the world for them, so let's go ahead and use a fireball. I'm not going to upcast this, we're just going to use it at the base spell here. So this should be a 3rd level spell, and we will go ahead and consume the spell slot. So let's see here. Can we get it in such a way that would tag everyone? It doesn't look like it. No. Unfortunately, we can't... Oh, no. Can't quite get everyone. So he's going to get it in such a way that hits Kenya and Dravis, because even though the vampire is kind of up against the wall, still can't really... isn't really being that stealthy. So we're going to go ahead and plop that there. And a big old area of fire comes in as the fireball crashes into place. We have a couple things going on here. First, we have our difficulty check of a DC 20. And we have, let's see here, Dravis fails with a 13 and Kenya fails with a 10. So that results in 22 points of fire damage. And both of our vampires, the vampire spawn and the vampire themselves, take a bunch of damage. Hey, Dalton Breeze, thanks for joining. Good to see you could make it. Wiki Last as well. Thank you. Enjoying the pun here. So just to double check here, let's make sure that Dravis doesn't have anything against fire damage. And looks like there's no immunities to fire, which is good to see. And, you know, this is just straight up a vampire spawn. So no problems here as well. Okay, so that will be the first attack by Skeletor and pretty much ending the turn there. 10, let's see, moved up 20 feet, can probably go and move back another 10 feet. Now that they've had a chance to take and go ahead and make that attack, and we will get rid of this template here. Okay, let me clear out the targets, and that will be Skeletor's turn. I like that it gave it some kind of a, what world? What was the effect here? Fireball template, interesting. Okay. Alright, so that is the end of Skeletor's turn, and that will we'll move on to Ulva here, our vampire spawn. Ulva sees the damage going on and the fireball that blasted just barely hit her. And she's going to bug out and start running in to attack. And I don't believe there was anything that could avoid... Oh, we have legendary resistance here. So, our vampire does have legendary resistance. We're going to go ahead and use that on the fireball to see if they take less damage, just for a reaction here. Oh, they did fail, so yeah, we'll go ahead and use that. Consume the resource, and... yeah, I don't care about that. It can choose to succeed instead. So we're going to go ahead and revert the damage and only apply half the damage instead. So our vampire only takes 11 points of damage now instead. Alright, and just to double check here, 1 legendary resistance used, which is good to see. Okay, and we do have legendary actions, which I forgot about, so let's just see what we have for those. We have the actions of move, unarmed strike, and bite. Okay, so now that we know what's going on here, Dravis is more than likely going to be using his ability to move. Yes, Clawpaw just got the legendary resistance. Okay, so at the end of Skeletor's turn, Draffus is going to go ahead and use 1 point to do a move and start blurring around this space here to try and avoid any more setup like that. So we're going to go ahead and do 5, 10, yeah, we'll just say 15, and something like 30 feet to here to come around and get ready for assaulting the Lich. All right, so Ulva's turn comes up, and she's just going to, feral vampire attack and just come rushing up as well. And we'll say she's going to come over to probably to here and then just do like a quick hop over the wall. Let's do a quick acrobatics check to see if she can like tumble over it real quick. Shouldn't be anything too crazy. And let's see what she gets. A 3. Okay, so with a 6, the vampire spawn is just a little too crazed and kind of stumbles and loses like half the extra movement from what she was doing. And we'll say she ends up having to stop her turn here, collapsing on the ground. Ah, yes, 2 legendary creatures. Dalton, this should be interesting, to say the least. Well, hopefully it goes well. What do we have for legendary actions here? Cantrips, Paralyzing Touch, Frightening Gaze, and Disrupt Life. Okay, so how do we want to do this? Okay. With line of sight and Skeletor moving back 10 feet, probably can only see Kenya here. So Skeletor is going to use, at the end of Ulva's turn, a legendary action. Okay, let's see here. Use feature. Do we have anything like that? Legendary Resistance, Paralyzing Touch? No. All right, so we're going to go ahead and click in here for the legendary actions. We're going to go ahead and say we're using one, and we'll probably just do the cantrip just for the sake of it, and do a cantrip attack on Kenya here. Okay, so cantrip, cast spell. And we'll do a Ray of Frost on Kenya, which we will then target. Come back over to here, get that spell going again. And if everyone watches, hopefully we get a... Yeah, there it is. Nice little laser beam hit. So we had a base 15, total of 27 to hit, and that's 15 points of cold damage against Kenya. And Kenya now has lost 10 feet of movement, being frozen by the Ray of Frost, which is going to be pretty helpful, to say the least. Okay. Let's see here. Some D&D lover. Am I seeing wrong, or 8's there a river on the map? No, there shouldn't be a river on the map. It's all just... I'll zoom out a little bit here. It's just an old chapel that's broken down. This is a wall. This is like a pretty beat up and grown over stone wall, so maybe that's what you're seeing. Okay. Alright, so that is one of Skeletor's legendary actions for the turn. And we'll have a couple more points to use if needed. Alright, Ulva finished their turn, so let's go ahead and finish that up. Mark that as done, and we move on to Tyler Durdead. And Tyler Durdead, let's see here, we'll move 10 feet to here, 15, 20 feet to right in front of Skeletor to do some blocking. And we'll say, with the short bow or the long bow drawn, we'll have them target Ulva instead. Okay, so switch to the short bow and go ahead and make one attack. Alright, so that's going to be a base 13 to hit, total of 17, which does indeed hit for 7 points of piercing damage, but because it's not a magical weapon, that is halved, and the vampire spawn only takes 3 points of damage. And that will be Tyler Durdead's turn. Okay, up next is Kenya. Kenya is still technically frozen, but we do have some legendary movements to deal with. So, at the end of Tyler Durdead's turn, Dravis will do another, let's see here, what do we also have for the legendary actions? Move, unarmed strike, or bite. So we'll go ahead and do another move for him. So he's going to move over to the wall here. Oh, let me target them instead. Alright, so does another legendary action to do a move. And that will be his secondary legendary action. And then Skeletor can't really do much with Tyler Durden in the way. So unfortunately, he's not going to do much as it stands at the moment. So now we have Kenya's turn. And Kenya will also move up, but she is frozen. And that should be marked. Yep, we have minus 20 feet here. So she's going to creak and groan up 20 feet, trying to get there as she kicks off and tries to dislodge any of the frost on her. And we'll go on a dodge action since she's so close now and can see what's going on and all the undead that are starting to invade the chapel. So she's going to go ahead and throw in the dodge action, and that will be the end of her turn. Okay, up next is McRibs. McRibs is going to move over to here, right about there, and also see Kenya from line of sight here. Probably the only one that he could see being on the lower level, and we'll take a shot off at Kenya. It's not complete line of sight, so I'm going to give Kenya, half cover here. And, let's see here. Let me go. Oh, yeah, there we go. That's what I need to do. All right. So we're going to target Kenya. We're going to go ahead and give half cover, which is right down here. And she's going to get a little AC boost because of the angles and whatnot that McRibs has to attack from. Probably could go with 3/4 cover, but we'll just go with this for now. Okay. Go ahead and target. And McRibs, drawing their short bow, will make an attack. And let's see here. At disadvantage, that's going to be a base 12 with a total of 16 to hit. And that misses Kenya thanks to the half cover of the wall here and being shot upwards towards the vampire spawn. So that is the end of McRib's turn, who can't do much of anything else. And we come up to Grim Carry, who can easily see and will probably... Let's see here. Probably going to go and move into such a way that they are easily able to see, and will catch Ulva over here on the side. And we're going to switch targets to Ulva, who isn't dodged and behind a wall, and take a shot at her instead. So we'll go ahead and set that all up. Another short bow attack. And let's see what we get here. Base 2 with a total of 6. That is definitely a big miss on Ulva, which is excellent for her, bad for the skeleton. But, they're skeletons, and they're just kind of click-clacking along. So who cares about that one? Up next is Travis. And before the end of Grim Carry's turn, we'll have Travis. Does Travis want to go in and risk this? Because he can kind of see what's going on here. And may want to do a little cleanup. Yeah, we'll have him do the last legendary action. And let's see here. 10 feet to here. Perfect. Alright, so last legendary action for the round before his turn, and Grim Carry finishes their turn. So, we'll go ahead and end the turn there. Moving on to Travis, who is going to, with Greatsword in hand, take a whole couple big attacks against these undead. So we have, let's see here, multi-attack. Vampire can make 2 Greatsword attacks or vampire form. 2 regular attacks, and one of which can be a bite. So, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and swing away with that Greatsword, and then do some more movement if need be. Maybe not the best move on his behalf, but we'll see what happens in a moment. Alright, switching back to Travis here. Great sword in hand, goes for 1 swing on against Grim Carry. Base 9, total of 18 to hit. Man, that is a mega hit here. Or at least a mega 2-hit target, amount of 9. And wounds Grim Carry. Surprisingly enough, doesn't finish off Grim Carry. I was really shocked by that. Okay, so, not finished off quite yet. We'll say Grim Carry goes ahead and attacks again, just to finish off this one skeleton. Uh-oh. Base 1, that is a total miss, and now has a decision to make. Either stay there or try and get back behind the wall. But considering these two are, both have their short bows drawn, Travis is going to go ahead and take the chance to move back behind the wall and take a couple opportunity attacks from the skeletons. So the skeletons at close range have disadvantage and go ahead and try to attempt some short bow attacks against Travis. So first short bow attack at disadvantage. Well, that's a 2. It's going to miss anyways. And Tyler Durdead is also going to attack. Alright, so that should be disadvantage. Perfect. Both are 17s, and surprisingly enough, still hits with a total of 21 and 5 points of damage, which is reduced in half to 2 because of non-magical damage. Okay, so Travis here gets out of it pretty easily and gets behind the wall once again. Ducking down, giving, I'd say easily 3/4 cover. Not enough to completely get rid of the vampire at this point. Yeah, I thought so too, Dalton. I thought that would have been a one-shot from a greatsword, but I guess not. Okay, so at the end of Travis's turn, Skeletor still has the skeleton in the way, so is going to avoid doing that. And yeah, we'll just have this move on. All right, so Travis's turn is going to end, and we have Zandash, who was hiding and is going to move. I guess we'll go about 15 feet to here, since that's as far as they can go, and they're hiding. And with an ambush attack, will go ahead and attack Kenya, since basically the only one they can really see. Okay, targeting Kenya, we will go ahead and make a longbow attack at advantage, which should be counteracted by the yes, perfect, by the dodge action. So base 13 to hit, total of 17. That's 9 points of damage, but unfortunately is reduced to half to 4 damage thanks to the vampire's damage resistances here. And that is as far as Zandash can do and move, since they've moved and have gone ahead and attacked. Actually, I think they can make 2 attacks. So, excuse me, 1 more attack coming up. Longbow attack number 2. That's going to be a base 6 with a 10 that misses Kenya as well. Okay, so now Zandash's turn is done, and we move on to the last combatant for round 2, Mrs. Bojangles. Okay, Ms. Bojangles is over here, and with short bow in hand, moves up 15 feet to here, and then we'll say skirts around Zandash for another 10 feet, and just to get him out of the way, up here. So that'll be that attack, and then yeah, have him attack Kenya with a short bow. Although this time I'm going to go ahead and take off the half cover and put on 3/4 cover because really tight angles here. All right, so this will be a short bow attack. Oh, don't do that, cat. If you all heard that, that was my cat scratching on a window. Okay, Ms. Bojangles is attacking Kenya, and let's see what we get here. For a base 7, total of 11 to hit, that is going to definitely not do anything, and that will be the end of Ms. Bojangles' turn. So, the question now is, does Dravis do anything on these attacks? Or on these turns here? We could do two attacks. We could do a movement in an attack, but that would probably be pretty bad. So I think Dravis is going to hold off from doing any kind of legendary actions because Skeletor is coming up and might decide to move based off of whatever happens next. Okay, so that is the end of the turn here. Let's see here. Question, do any of the vampires have regen? I doubt the Lich is carrying holy water to counteract it. The vampire spawns don't. I believe they don't have regen. The vampire himself probably should. Oh, they do have regeneration. Look at that. Vampire regains 10 points at the start of the turn if it has at least 1 hit point and isn't in sunlight. And considering this is nighttime when this is happening, then sure, yeah, they should definitely be regenerating 10 hit points. So, alright, I will go ahead and give Kenya plus 10 back for that, and Dravis as well. Good call on that, Evil Lord Gravy. Thank you for reminding me of this. Okay, so regeneration for the vampire itself is 20. Okay, so plus 20 here. Okay. Yes, Tybot, you were correct on that as well. Okay, so giving Kenya 10 back and Dravis 20 back, we are in pretty good position here since none of them really have anything to counteract their regeneration. Which, if I double check, it should just be Holy Water and Radiant Damage, which I don't believe Skeletor has any Radiant Damage, possibly. Alright. At the end here, Ms. Bojangles missed, and we will start round 3. Alright, ending Ms. Bojangles' turn. Top of round 3, we have Skeletor moving first. And, well, let's see here. What do they want to do? They're going to spend probably 15 feet moving up to get past the skeleton. Knows that there's a couple vampires here coming on. And let's see here. What spells do you want to use? I know Cloud Kill could be fun. Turn resistance, let's see here. Magic Missile, Shield, Thunder Wave, Melph's Acid Arrow. So many spells, so many opportunities. Disintegrate, Globe of Invulnerability, Finger of Death, Dominate Monster, Power Word Stun, Power Word Kill. Maybe they do have the chance for the one. True, with the regens, who knows? Well, let's just do a Cloud Kill. That's always a fun one. Okay, we're going to cast a spell for Cloud Kill, which should be right here. Okay, we're going to concentrate on that, and we're going to put it right here because all of our undead are going to be immune to it, and on top of that, they need to, the cloud is going to move away every turn 5 feet. So we're going to pop this here, not have to worry about Grimcarry or Skeletor, and go ahead and roll for Cloud Kill. So we have 27 points of damage, and that is going to be, let's see here. A Constitution check of DC 20 for 27 points of damage, and Kenya succeeds with a 21, Dravis succeeds with a 22, Skeletor fails with a 15, and Grim Carry fails with a 7. But our 2 undead are immune to poison damage, so we don't have to worry about that, and it looks like our vampire spawn and our vampire both have immunities to damage or poison, or resistances, I should say, which is interesting, unless this is necrotic damage. I thought this was poison damage. Let's see. I have necrotic resistance, and I have, yeah, necrotic. I'm guessing this is necrotic damage. No, this is poison. Why did they take half damage? Oh, because they saved. Durr. Okay. Okay, so they saved because of the successful Constitution save, only taking half damage, but this is a concentration spell, so Skeletor is now concentrating on Cloud Kill, and let me go ahead and give Skeletor Cloud Kill. We'll go ahead and come up to the Convenient Effects mod, and look up Concentration. Okay, good. Skeletor is now concentrating on a spell, which should hopefully remind me to get rid of Cloud Kill if need be. And that will be the end of Skeletor's turn. Considering nothing has really been going on here, Skeletor is probably feeling a little brazen about everything and is moving up to start engaging properly. That was 20 feet. And you know what? Since they're in this the Cloud Kill as well, he's going to continue to move up even further. So he went 20 feet. We'll do another 10 feet to there. And right dead set in the middle of the gas. All right, so that is going to end the Lich's turn here, and at the end of Skeletor's turn, Dravis is going to go ahead and do something. Probably is going to go ahead and just stick it out in the poison gas, and is going to go ahead and move in to make some attacks. So the legendary action is going to be to move, so that way on the next couple he can make a greatsword or other such attacks here. Just to double check the legendary actions that he can do here. That will be with the warrior, where I can make 3 legendary actions. It could be a move, an unarmed strike, or a bite. Okay, so we can do an unarmed strike on the next turn. Yes, Dravis will recover 20 hit points at the start of his turn, but this is a legendary action, so not just yet. Alright, up next is Ulva, and Ulva is now that she's able to get in there, is going to probably rush around the corner of the poison gas to avoid that. And let's see, sticks out 30 feet to here to avoid going in the gas here. And probably going to hop down and move up another, let's see here. We'll say another, hops down to here and just kind of holds for that. And that's as far as Ulva's going to do, unfortunately. Nothing else she can do at the moment. So at the end of Ulva's turn, we've got 2 legendary creatures right next to each other. So we're going to have Skeletor and Dravis attack each other. Might as well. Okay, so we'll start off with Dravis, who's going to go in for the unarmed strike and make an attack against Skeletor. So unarmed strike, letting go of the 2-handed sword with one hand, goes in for a quick punch on Skeletor. And that's going to be a base 6 to hit, total 15, misses Skeletor, unfortunately. And then we trade blows here. And Skeletor goes in and attacks Dravis. So let's see what happens. Dravis is getting attacked with what again? And we could do we could obviously do a cantrip, but that's kind of pointless. We'll go in for the paralyzing touch. Let's see what happens here. Okay. So paralyzing touch attack on Dravis. And that's going to do a base 13, total of 25 to hit, which does hit, dealing 10 points of cold damage. And now we have a paralyzing touch DC 18 Constitution saving throw, which Dravis fails. All right, so that could be a paralyzing, but who wants to be paralyzed? So we're going to use one more of Dravis's legendary resistances to resist this and not fail the Constitution check. All right, so that's going to be 10 points of damage against Dravis. And yeah, going blow for blow here. Just to double check, what was the point value for that legendary action attack? It doesn't tell me how much it was. Just a moment here, folks, while I figure that out. And let's see here. Lich. Using my offside resource. And the legendary action for paralyzing touch is 2 points. Alright, so the only thing he can do next is a cantrip. And that will end up being either Mage Hand Prestidigitation or Ray of Frost. Okay, so 1 point left to do a Ray of Frost if need be. At disadvantage, probably. Okay, Ulva's turn is over. We move on to Tyler Durdead. And Tyler Durdead is... Where's Tyler Durdead? Right here, next to Zandesh. Sees that his master's being attacked and will continue to attack Dravis as well. Because of the angles here, that's going to be 3/4 cover for him. And definitely get that +5 bonus and goes in for a short bow attack against Dravis. Not knowing about the vampire that just dropped down over here. Okay, and the attack on Dravis. So, base 11. And that's a total of 15, which misses, unfortunately. Oh, right. Thank you. I forgot about that part. Dalton. Excellent. So yeah, the attacks have to have disadvantage for attacking. Okay. Does Skeletor have what? True Sight, 120. All right, so that wouldn't affect the Lich. So the Lich can easily see through that. The Vampire, on the other hand, has Dark Vision, which is not going to help. Okay, so good to know there. So Skeletor, being in the middle of this poison cloud, can easily see Dravis. Dravis, on the other hand, can't. Okay. So Tyler Turdead's turn is done as a miss, and a couple more attacks here as Dravis goes in for another attack against Skeletor. And let's see here. We're switching the attacks over. There we go. We'll go in for an attack. Another unarmed strike at disadvantage because of obscurement. Thank you again. And that should have been a low attack. Why in the world do they have complete damage immunities? Oh yeah, non-physical. So that's kind of pointless. Oh boy. You'd have to go in for the bite then. All right. Let's double check that one real quick. And we got Vampire here. Vampire. What is there? Let's see. The legendary action for the bite is 2 actions. Okay. This is going to be kind of a standoff or a stalemate, I think. This is not going to end well, it seems. All right. Tyler Durdead's turn is done. Skeletor is going to go in for the Ray of Frost attack on Dravis at disadvantage because of it being right in melee range. And let's see what happens here. This is a little silly. Okay, let's get rid of the 3/4 cover on that. All right, and Ray of Frost at disadvantage. Yes. All right. Should have been at disadvantage. Don't know why it didn't do that, but that's fine. The 3 is going to miss anyways. All right, so that's a 15, and yeah. So. Yeah, alright, Tyler Durdead's turn is done. Let's move on to Kenya, who is up next. And Kenya, being within the beginning rounds of this, is going to regen 10 hit points. And then, because they already started their turn in here, is not going to worry about the Poison Cloud damage for this round. But next round, yes, we will worry about it next round. So Kenya is going to move up in such a way and flank the Lich and trying to go in for the attacks there as well. Although this is probably not going to do anything, considering the Lich is immune to all sorts of damage. But they don't really know that. Although Dravis could have called out during the legendary action that it's immune to physical attacks. Move on. So let's see here. What else do we have? Bites. We have a claw, and the bite requires a willing creature or a creature that is grappled. So Kenya would have to go ahead and make it a grapple attack in order to do any kind of damage there. So, yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and try to grapple Skeletor. So that'll be the first thing going on. All right, so let's switch our targets, and Kenya's going to try and grapple. And, yeah, here we go. All right, so first attack with the claws, going in for a grapple attack. Let's see if this even hits. Base 9, total 15, misses Skeletor. And then they have a multi-attack, so we can probably do this a second time. Yes, 2 attacks here. Going in for a claw attack again at disadvantage. So base 10, total of 16, misses Skeletor again. Skeletor has what, an AC of 17? Oh, just misses. How unfortunate. Okay, so that is Kenya's turn, and at the end of Kenya's turn, Skeletor has used all their attacks. Dravis has one legendary action left, so it's not going to bother with anything, and that's going to be pretty much it. So we'll go ahead and end their turn. McRibs is up next, and McRibs is back here, sees Ulva, and is going to switch targets and go for the attack against Ulva. With short bow drawn, we will go ahead and see how this works. Base 4, total of 8, definitely misses Ulva as she rolls out of the way and gets back up to her feet to attack from behind. A flanking maneuver. So, let's end... Oh, let me get back to my chat here. Oh, right. It should have been neutral. Okay. So then, yeah, I totally forgot about that part. So much going on. Here's what I'll do for that one. Thank you, Evil Lord Gravy. I will do a roll here of left and right. So we're going to do a roll of 1d2. And 1 will be the 10 and 2 will be the 16. And maybe we'll have it hit. Okay, 2. So that will result in a 16 plus 6. So that should definitely be a hit and goes in for the grapple. So we'll say Skeletor is now officially grappled. Yes, I love using flanking rules, by the way. So much going on, I forgot what I was doing. There we go. Skeletor is now officially grappled. Alright, so let's see here. Up next is going to be, as McRibs finishes their turn, we have Grim Carry, and Grim Carry in the Poison Cloud has nothing going on and is just going to continue to attack at range, might as well, and goes in for a shot against Kenya. Now, let's see here. They only have Dark Vision, so they're going to be at disadvantage trying to attack Kenya here, who has a general idea of what's going on. And we'll attack a short bow, short range disadvantage. That's alright, don't worry. Thank you for reminding me. I appreciate the help. Okay, so that is definitely a miss as the short bow arrow just goes sailing off into the distance, missing Kenya here. So that is the end of Grim Carry's turn. And we will move on to Dravis, who gets all of their legendary actions back and goes in to attack Skeletor. Okay, Skeletor is officially grappled. So one of the attacks is going to be a greatsword attack. The other is going to be a bite. And we'll see what happens here as Dravis regenerates 20 hit points and has to make a Constitution save for being in the fog here. So let's see here. Skeletor's turn. Oh, this should have moved a little bit, I think, at that point. Because it was Skeletor's turn, or this is the first time. Oh, no. All right. We'll say, yeah, no, this is still the first one, so it hasn't moved just yet. Okay. What is the save here for this spell? Let's see here. Okay. So it is a... This isn't going to tell me the save, is it? Oh, DC 20 Constitution. All right, perfect. Okay, so Dravis needs to make a Constitution save. All right, and let's see here. Constitution roll. It's going to be a 17 plus 4 for a total of 21, and avoids taking full damage here. So we're going to deal... let's see here. How much damage was that again? As he sticks it out in the poison cloud here. And that's going to be a total of 5d8 poison damage. All right, so 5d8 and half of this. All right, so 25, so that'll be 12 points of poison damage. Easily recovered by the regeneration, so nothing to really worry about here. And Dravis is going to finally go in for some attacks. All right, on to Skeletor. We do our greatsword attack. And let's see here. So flanking, yeah, this will be a regular attack since it's flanking technically with Kenya and in the blindness. So perfect. All right. Ooh, what is that? I don't even know. It looks like a base 15, total of 24 to hit, dealing 14 points of damage. And unfortunately, that does no damage to Skeletor. Very surprised by this. Dravis is angered and annoyed and goes in for a bite attack to try and do something to Skeletor. Okay, now again, roll at regular, base 11, total of 20 to hit. We have a whole bunch of stuff going on here. So we have 23 necrotic, piercing and necrotic damage going on. We also have we should have a save, I believe, or not. Oh, Skeletor succeeds on the concentration check of a 30, so we don't have to worry about that. And let's see here. So we have creature was grappled by a vampire. Took some piercing damage plus some necrotic damage, then the target's hit point maximum is reduced by amount equal to the necrotic damage. So, what was our necrotic damage? 13 points of necrotic damage against our Lich. But our Lich is, let's see here, immunities to poison and resistant to necrotic damage. So our 13 necrotic damage, excuse me, gets reduced from 13 to 6. So the max hit point is going to be dropped down to 129? Yes. Okay. All right. So even though there was a little bit of damage dealt in the form of a bite, which is a little awkward if you think about it, a vampire biting an undead Lich here, something has gone on. So that is the end of Dravis's turn, and let's see here. He has his legendary actions back and is going to just stick it out here in the poison. All right, up next is Zandash. Okay. And Zandash is up, and let's see here. What is Zandash going to do? Zandash has for sight, let's see here, dark vision, and that's it. Okay, so seeing from the angle, he can see Ulva and turns and pivots to go for an attack on Ulva. All right. With the longbow in hand, Zandash attacks twice. All right. Attack number 1, base 5, total of 9 is going to miss Ulva. And also misses Skeletor, so somehow he split the attack and goes in for another longbow attack against Ulva. Okay, base 15, that's a total of 19, and deals 10 points of damage, but reduced in half to 5. Okay, so Zandash sees the amount of damage and does very little to the vampire spawn and shrugs it off and realizes that they're going to have to get really ruthless here. No, power word kill did not get used yet. Alright. At the end of Zandash's turn, Dravis is going to go in for a bite attack, and that is going to require... How much was that again? Let's see here. For a legendary action, that is going to be 2, so that's all he can do there, and is going to go in for another bite attack against Skeletor. Okay. So let's switch our attacks as a legendary action comes in for a bite attack. And goes into Skeletor. So, let's see here. That looks like a base 11 for a total of 20 to hit, which hits Skeletor for 21 points of necrotic and piercing damage, reduced down to 5. And then concentration check, Skeletor again passes the concentration for the cloud kill, and that is going to be a total of 5 points of necrotic damage, reducing Skeletor's hit point maximum once again. Alright, so another 5 points there, and slowly but surely it looks like the vampires may have a slight advantage here. Okay, at the end of Zandash's turn, Skeletor is also going to use one of his legendary actions. And let's see here. What is they going to do for legendary action? Alright, let's see here. We have Disrupt Life. It's not an undead creature, which within 20 feet. These are undead, so that's not going to work. Frightful Gaze, which fixes on one creature can see within 10 feet of it. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be frightened. We'll just do the Paralyzing Touch. That'll be the easiest thing. Okay. Alright, so we'll switch our turns to Dravis as Skeletor uses his 2 of 3 legendary actions here to attack Dravis. And we'll go ahead and make that attack of Paralyzing Touch once again. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Oof. Base 7, total of 19 does hit our vampire for a total of 10 points of cold damage. The Paralyzing Touch DC 18, and Dravis fails with a 10. This is going to be the last use of Dravis's legendary resistance here, and we'll end up saving against the Paralyzing Touch once more. Okay, so let's see here. Legendary actions, legendary resistance. We'll go ahead and use that up, and that is all used. So we can no longer have legendary resistances from Dravis. And takes 10 points of cold damage. Alright, so that is the end there for Xandash's turn. Yeah, Xandash missed, I think, the first attack, right? Longbow, longbow. Alright, perfect. And we move on to Ms. Bojangles. So we'll go ahead and switch over to Xandash, who will finish the turn. And Ms. Bojangles here is going to... attacking from outside, trying to see in, heavy obscurement. Yeah, just going to continue the attacks here. So let's see what happens here. This may end up becoming a draw here as we round out the bottom of round 3. And, yeah, okay. So, short bow attack against Kenya, who is going to be at disadvantage for the attack because of a heavy obscurement, and that's going to be a base 4 for a total of 4 to hit, and the arrow just goes sailing through the cloud, into the cloud, and out of the cloud. Alright, and we have the end of round 4 here. And let's see here, what time are we at? 6:30 at the moment. So we are pretty much at an hour, surprisingly enough. And let's see, so we've come to the end of round 3. We're now starting the top of round 4. And since it's now Skeletor's turn, legendary actions have been refreshed. The Cloud Kill is going to move 10 feet away from the casting and moves over to here. And at the moment, it seems as though the Lich and the Vampire basically come to an understanding and see that they have come to more or less a stalemate. The vampires could probably slowly drain away at Skeletor's healing abilities, or excuse me, slowly drain away his hit points. But with that, you know, at some point, Skeletor would easily be able to just zip away. And we kind of come to a stalemate where the vampires can regen more damage than our Lich can put out, especially since no one really has any kind of magical attacks except for Xandash with the ability to life drain. And with the regens here, it seems as though they've come to a draw after about, what is this, 6 times 3, that's 18 to 20 seconds into combat. They realize that, you know, their attacks are fruitless and decide to come to an understanding and make a draw here. About 30 seconds into the attacks, the Lich and the Vampire decide to, exactly, enough! They decide to put their talents to work together. So, I'm going to call this one a draw, and say that neither side technically won, as we resolve this one here. Yeah, it should move each round, yep. And then they get married. The Lich goes to intimidate the Vampire, but rolls a 1, and then they get married. So I'm going to end the poll here. Let's see what the results are for the poll. Who's pulling off the win in this CR25 draft? Well, Lich and the Bony Boys had 80% chance to win, which may have worked. It probably could have worked, but the Vampire Suckers only had 20% chance. So in the end, being a draw, we could say no one wins and no one loses, considering it's a draw. Maybe they could waterboard the vampires in a nearby puddle. Oh no. Oh, that's terrible. And now kiss. Alright, so this has been another fun episode of Monster vs. Monster here on the D&D CR Exposed YouTube channel. An unexpected ending to this one. I really thought there would be a clear winner for one side or the other, but considering the regens of the vampires and the non-magical attacks from the Lich and the Undead, yeah, we've come to a bit of a draw. So, now to get a little bit of the business out of the way, the virtual tabletop here of my choice is Foundry. I absolutely love Foundry, and this is what I'm using currently. I updated from Roll20 and have never looked back. The battle map here is by Chezimpeku. You can get their battle map at Chezimpeku on Patreon. I'm a backer and have no affiliation with them, nor do I have any affiliation with any of the other programs I use here or the software. And the names were generated by Clawpaw for our Lich and our Vampire, and also by fantasynamegenerator.com, so go ahead and get those there as well. Should have had an option for the draw next poll. Definitely going to have that up there as an option. Had no idea. Seeing this undead battle has really whetted my appetite for Orcus versus the Demogorgon. That's a very good chance that maybe D&D Shorts has done that, because I know he did something with what's his name there? I can't think of it. He did one on his channel, but you have to be a Patreon to see his stuff. So unfortunately, his is kind of behind a paywall at the moment. But let's see here. Evil Lord Gravy, this is my first time at one of these streams. What days do you do them? I always do them Monday nights, anywhere between 5:30 and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So generally whenever I get home from work, I will give a 15-minute alert. And if you want to know exactly when I'm going live, you can join the Discord, which is the pinned comment here. It's free to anyone. That link will work for the next 7 days or so. And yeah, every Monday from anywhere between 5 to 6 p.m. unless I have to change it for some reason, which could potentially happen in the future. We'll see what happens. I have some things working in the background, some big events, then some stuff that are going to be going on with the channel, some fun stuff. So I'm going to be excited to tell you all about that in the next, in the coming weeks. Probably in about a month or so, I'll have some really good news. I can't imagine DMing Orcus can summon 500 hit points worth of undead. Yeah, that's pretty rough. Also, any considered options for next week's Monster vs. Monster? I do have something lined up. I have a rather large queue going on, so I have at least 4 or 5 more matches already in the works with another 6 waiting to get onto the line. So if you have any recommendations, go ahead and join up with the Discord. Join us there and throw them into the monster requests section of the Discord channel, and we'll just get to them as we get to them. And if these get to be too popular, maybe I do them 2 times a week. We'll see what happens. Anything's possible in the future. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. And as usual, I like to go through here in the live stream chat and thank everyone. T-Bot, The Hair Doctor, Dalton Breeze, Evil Lord Gravy, Clawpaw, Rostlin. Thank you. Didn't get a chance to say hi to you earlier. Let's see here. Ellis Barlow. And do we have anyone else I may have missed? Oh, Vampire DR6. That was someone I missed. Shame I didn't get to see you there. Wikilast. I said Dalton Breeze already. Overlord Gravy. Clawpaw. I think that's everyone. Oh, and some D&D lover. Yes, thank you all for joining me. You have all been amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out as we watch this somewhat anticlimactic Vampires versus Liches. And just wanted to say you all are amazing to hang out, chat with me, and, just commentary and help me out as I miss some things here and there. And if anyone is watching this in the future as a VOD later on and you get all the way to the end as well, you're amazing as well. So awesome. So this is me, Andrew, with the D&D CR Exposed YouTube channel, asking the question, as I always do, are your encounters even rated? Thanks, everyone. Have a great night, a great day, a great afternoon, wherever you are in the world. A great morning at that. And I will see you next Monday for another episode of Monster vs. Monster. It is an origin story, which I may be using in the future. And if you want to use this as well for your games, by all means, go right ahead. The birth of an alliance. Yes, exactly. So if anyone read the description for this live stream, that poor town that's nearby is up for some big trouble. All right, everyone. Have a great night. I'll see you next time.